Hey, I'm Matt, the Americano. I've lived in Bogotá full-time for over 4.5 years, and today I'm doing something a little different. I'm not walking around the city or filming drone shots. I'm literally sitting on my sofa with a stack of receipts because we're talking real restaurant prices in Colombia. Just honest numbers from actual places I eat. I'll even throw the menus on screen so you can judge my taste in food and spending habits. And spoiler alert, Bogotá has some incredible restaurants. If I'm 100% honest with you, it has some of my most favorite restaurants in the world. Yeah, that's no joke. And it might get the upper hand with the prices you're about to see. All right, let's start with casual eats. Places you'd hit for lunch or an easy dinner.
Okay, this receipt is from El Corral. And El Corral is kind of like Burger King and McDonald's. It's a fast food hamburger place, but it has better quality burgers, and they are more expensive. It's not a cheap place. But this is for a Todo Terrano Tocineta hamburger. You can see it's 50,900 pesos. That's $12.12 approximately. And that would normally be like around 45,000 pesos, but I got onion rings with it instead, so that increased the price with it on the side. And then you can see there's also a side here of papa casco, which is basically the kind of the rustic potatoes. So that's 8,500 pesos for $2.02. Total 59,400 or $14.14. And El Mexican is by far my favorite Mexican restaurant in Bogotá. And you can see here there are two margaritas on this list. Their margaritas have a lot of liquid. They're big, and so they're really about double the size of a margarita, but they only have one shot. So I always get an extra shot to get in there, and so to balance it out. And so the margarita, they always run this special, which you get two margaritas for this price. So basically, it comes out to 9,950 pesos for a margarita. That's $2.37. And then adding the additional shot for 7,900 pesos is $1.88. This is for Mexican fries that are topped with shredded pork, cheese, and avocado. This is a shareable plate, 27,900 pesos, or $6.64. 3 fish tacos, 33,900 or $8.07. Taco carne asada, basically a beef taco for 7,900 or $1.88. And then a taco de pollo frito, which is basically a chicken taco for $1.88. The total was 124,630 pesos or $29.67. So a lot of food for that. Unfortunately, I don't have a receipt for Cheese Wheel. But Cheese Wheel is a fantastic restaurant. It's just a little, kind of almost like a fast food place, but it's they have really good options, and you can kind of make your own pasta there. But it's basically like a fettuccine alfredo that they make. That they have this big round Parmesan cheese wheel that they're making it out of, and it's pretty reasonable on price. Peramarte is a restaurant. They have a few different offerings, but they offer like a all-you-can-eat pizza a couple times during the week. This is for Tio Mao, and this was a Rappi delivery, and so this is for Kung Pao chicken, and there were two of them. They're 36,900 pesos each, or $8.79, and Kung Pao chicken is available pretty much all over the world. And this, they offer this in 3 different spice levels, and I always get it at Alto, which is the hottest. And it's delicious. And it comes with a crispy rice, or you can choose whether you want the crispy rice or normal. But basically, delivered for 2 of these, the total was $17.57. El Atia is a coffee shop restaurant, and great coffee, and they have several of these throughout the city. Just a really good place to go get some breakfast or coffee.
Next up, mid-range spots. Not quite date night fancy, but not your neighborhood cafe either. Okay, here we have Wok. Wok is one of my favorite restaurants in Bogota. It's you could argue that there's better sushi in Bogota, but the thing is they have a 56-page menu that's in full color, and everything comes out looking just like it does on the menu. Their quality and attention to detail and their presentation is just phenomenal, and they're really reasonably priced for sushi. So, like a good example here, this is a water without gas in a bottle. So basically almost 7,000 pesos. So that's, we'll call that almost $2. It's $1 and maybe 80 cents or something. This is a bottle of wine from Spain, and it's 135,000 pesos. Then you've got Wakmaki salmon, which is 39,900, we'll call it 40,000 pesos. That's about $9. And same thing with this wok and roll. And langostina, or basically shrimp, tempura shrimp going through the middle of it. It's good. Basically, both of these are fantastic. Spicy roll, same thing. So 3 sushi rolls. And then this is a dessert. Wontons, you can't get a dessert for this in the U.S. 16,400 pesos would be like $3 and some change. Basically got like a raspberry dipping sauce, and the wontons have basically arequipe, which is like their version of caramel. And so this whole thing with a bottle of wine, 304,000. So this is about, we'll call it $70. So, and 3 sushi rolls. You couldn't get 3 sushi rolls, a dessert, and a bottled water, and a bottle of wine for that in the U.S. No way.
My first and only time at this restaurant, it's called Don Benitez, and this is a Mexican restaurant that is in a mall, in the same mall that IKEA is in Bogota. They had a special for 3 margaritas for 55,800 pesos. That comes out to 18,600 pesos each, or $4.43 per margarita. Now, that's pretty cheap. Then you have the fajita nachos that was shared amongst the table, and that was $8.69. Taco Campeon, there were 3 tacos there, 35,000 pesos, or $8.33. And then cerdo flautas, which are basically pork flautas, 32,500, $7.74. This whole meal, this is one of the more expensive Mexican restaurants here, and basically it was 174,500 pesos, or $41.55. And remember, there were 3 margaritas with this. Okay, crepes and waffles is, you almost will feel like you've heard of it in the U.S. before, but it's a Colombian business started by 2 women, and basically anytime there's whether it's in the evenings or say a Sunday afternoon, there is always a line for this place, and there's multiples of them. These exist all over Colombia, and it doesn't matter where you go, they have long lines because they have a pretty big menu. And even though it's called crepes and waffles, they have fish, they have beef, they have hamburgers, they have everything. It's a pretty versatile menu. It's almost like it's a mini version of our Cheesecake Factory in the U.S. So not as big of a menu as Cheesecake Factory, but kind of versatile like that. And it's really reasonably priced. Masa is a restaurant that I have been wanting to go to, but I just haven't been to yet. And they have a really good breakfast menu, but they have other things as well. And I'm dying to go there to try their Eggs Benedict. Mistral is a restaurant, a kind of coffee shop, bakery, restaurant all rolled in one. And it's fantastic for breakfast. In fact, when I first came to Bogota, this is probably the first place I had breakfast. And the owner is a woman who's super nice, but they have great coffee and just great breads and stuff. It's fantastic. Osaki is an amazing restaurant. It's kind of a Japanese Peruvian mix, but it's got a really good sushi, really good beef, just lots of really good items on their menu. Sushi Gozen is a fantastic sushi restaurant. It's owned by a woman who had married a Japanese guy. They divorced, and she somehow got to keep the restaurant. So, but their sushi is phenomenal. This is for La Artisana, and this is a bread bakery and a restaurant that's not far from my home. And I'm in an upscale area, so this is a little bit more expensive bread bakery, but their bread's awesome. So I've got 3 receipts from this.
So, I've gone there and gotten focaccia bread for 20,000 pesos, which is like $4 and some change. And the same here, I've got focaccia pesto and a baguette. So baguette's 6,500 pesos, which is going to be about $1.50. And you know, if you're in Europe, you know, that's a lot cheaper in Europe. And this is probably more on par with the United States. It still might be a little more expensive in the US. But like I said, this is a fancier store that's just close to me, and they have good stuff. And here's where I ate there, and their pizzas are actually my favorite in Bogotá. They have really good pizzas. So you can see 42,000 pesos, which is a little less than $10, or maybe right at $10. Club sandwich, an Italian sandwich, 2 cups of wine, so basically about 20,000 pesos per glass of wine, which is again going to be $4 and some change. We have a couple of basically juices here, and then that's basically it. So 150,000 pesos for the total, actually with taxes and everything, 165,000.
So what's the takeaway? Eating out in Colombia can be incredibly affordable, or upscale and still cheaper than the US or Europe. Whether you're grabbing a burger or doing a full tasting menu with wine, the value here is solid, and the food scene is surprisingly diverse. If you're thinking about moving to Colombia or just visiting, dining out won't break the bank unless you insist on truffle oil and imported wine every night. Hit like if this was helpful, drop a comment with what you'd want to eat here, and subscribe for more honest cost breakdowns and expat life in Colombia. Buen provecho!